Ontario plans to increase the number of stores a cannabis retailer can operate from 75 to 150. The founder and CEO of the cannabis retailer HITI says it's a good move and, in fact, will level the playing field in the Ontario market. We're joined by Raj Grover. He's founder and CEO of HITI. Raj, great to hear from you. Just remind us, how big are you? We know your Canna Cabana stores. There's plenty of them in Toronto. How many stores do you have and how many provinces, please?
Well, first of all, Happy New Year, Andy. Happy to be here. We are Canada's largest non-franchised cannabis retailer with 162 current locations, 54 in Ontario, 78 in Alberta, where we are also the largest.
So this, would you remind us, how many stores do you have now in Ontario? I think it's a little more than 50. And how many would you like to get to?
So currently we have 54 stores operating. We just opened one in Mississauga, which we were highly anticipating and waiting for recently, just a couple days ago, actually. And, we were looking forward to opening up 75 stores in the province, but we welcome this news from the province of Ontario to make good on its previously stated intent to double the provincial store cap to 150. As this change, like you said, Andrew, not only levels the retail playing field, because some of the retail operators through a franchising system had already exceeded this cap, but it's also going to create a significant growth opportunities for companies like HITI and others to help the legal cannabis industry to better compete with the highly entrenched illicit market in Ontario, and also create jobs for Ontarians and increase tax revenue for the province. So it's a win-win-win in that sense. And now we get to open another 100 or so stores in the province of Ontario.
That's interesting. So you mentioned Mississauga, of course, the big community west of Toronto. For years, it banned cannabis stores, but it changed its mind. Why was that? Why did the politicians there allow stores?
It was a little bit difficult for us to understand why the politicians did not allow stores. Clearly the fact remains, there was a recent study from the Ontario Provincial Police that stated that 86% of all illicit market samples they tested contains really harmful levels of pesticides. And, it's sort of a no-brainer approach to let the legal cannabis industry thrive. So HITI actually led the charge with the Mississauga City Council to drove this change. It took us a couple of years to do it, but we got there, and now we are able to serve approximately 800,000 Ontarians in the city of Mississauga, and help protect the health of Canadians as well while we build our business here in Canada.
What brings you into a community? What's the typical demographic that you need to see, or is there a typical community? I mean, I know cannabis use goes across all demographics and walks of life.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, our stores are really well balanced all across Canada. We are in the blue-collar neighborhoods, the white-collar neighborhoods. We are doing very well in every single market we open. Like you said, cannabis is widely accepted and used now. There was a stigma attached to cannabis use in the past, but that's quickly going away. So we've not really seen a particular community that's come across in our stores doing better. In one particular community, we are actually doing fantastic across all of our store network in Canada.
Sorry, in one particular network, one particular community? What was that, Raj?
No, I actually said I can't pinpoint to one single community or particular demographic. We are doing absolutely incredible throughout the country.
We just looked at a multi-year chart for your stock, and obviously it's been tough for cannabis investors, but certainly there's the 5-year. But if we look at the 1 year, you're doing pretty well. I mean, I have you up about 12% in the past year, and the cannabis group, as measured by the HMMJ ETF, is down almost 20%. So you have been winning over investors.
Look, it's all relative, right? We were the best performing cannabis stock, as per my knowledge, in Canada in 2023. We were also the best performing cannabis stock in Canada in 2021. And I don't think that'll change going forward in 2024 because we're doing some amazing things. But Andrew, it's all relative. When the industry is so beat up that you have CCAA and bankruptcy proceedings happening left, right, and center, it's hard to get the attention of investors, but if we keep on doing the right things, which we are, we're generating almost $500 million, not almost, we've actually exceeded $500 million in current annual run rate. And if this continues, this momentum continues, alongside our free cash flow, positive free cash flow generation, which is also an anomaly in Canadian cannabis, I think we will get investors' attention sooner rather than later.
I know ATB said in early November, so it's a while ago, you're trading at 5 times EBITDA. What's not to like? But are you still losing money on a per share basis?
Look, we are not net profitable yet. You can compare us with any other cannabis company in Canada or the US, and you'll find that fact to be absolutely the same. That is our next milestone. That's our next target. But we've just reached positive free cash flow status, which I'm extremely excited about. We generated $4.1 million of positive free cash flow in our quarter that we reported in July.
And I do see that ATB said you aren't going to need significant external financing. And of course, that's going to be music to the ears of cannabis investors who've seen endless fundraising by people in the industry.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're generating cash, it can't get better than that. And with this Ontario opportunity, we feel we can practically double our business in Canada alone. So if we're doing $500 million right now, you can do the math where we're headed, Andrew. And this is all before the big games for us begin in the US. We're a NASDAQ traded company, and that is the only reason we cannot open cannabis stores or cannabis dispensaries in the United States. But our time is coming. But we got a lot of land to capture in Canada now. So we're going to be very busy here for the next 2 to 3 years.
But stores, you've bought a few operations out of bankruptcy. I think you touched on that. Are there not too many cannabis stores? I mean, Toronto seems to be full of them.
Look, there are too many cannabis stores in certain neighborhoods, certain urban neighborhoods, but that is not the case throughout the country. There's many, many pockets of opportunities. To give you an example, Alberta has doubled the concentration of cannabis stores per 10,000 residents, and its illicit market shares are about half of Ontario's, right? Wow. Ontario has 15 million residents. Alberta has 5 million. So there's lots and lots of room to grow. There has been some saturation in urban neighborhoods, but that is not the case throughout the province or the country.
Right.